come in many other colors. Most bowling balls are black, but they come in many colors too. Both kinds of
This
balls
week for integrated ELD, I use a strategy called text reconstruction, which allows my students to develop language as well as access the content.
So we're going to be looking at an informational text this morning. And before we start, we're going to look at some vocabulary words. And we're going to evaluate some of these words. This word is solids. Echo.
Solids.
I want you to think about this word solids, and I want you to evaluate. 3, I know this word and sometimes I use it. 2, I've heard it before, but I'm not sure how to use it. 1, I've never heard this word before. Go ahead and evaluate. Whisper to your buddy something about this word.
So before I read the text to the students, I built background, I showed them visuals, and I also showed them definitions of the words. And after that, I went ahead and I wrote them on the whiteboard so that they can access them later as we're reconstructing the text.
Okay, so today when we reconstruct the text, we are going to follow our steps here. Our first step is going to be to listen to the text. Our second step is to take notes of key words and phrases. The third step is to add details and facts to our notes that we are taking. I'll take questions in a couple of minutes. Our fourth step is to share our notes with our buddies. Our fifth step is to together collaborate in reconstructing the text.
So I read the text several times. The first time I read the text to the students, I wanted them just to listen.
Solids are a kind of matter. They are things that have their own shape. They do not flow like liquids do. You can see and touch solids. You can describe a solid by its properties. Some of those properties are color, shape, size, and texture.
The second time I read the text, I wanted them to take notes and focus on key ideas, details.
Are they different? Let's compare. Most tennis balls are yellow or green, but they also come in many other colors. Most bowling balls are black, but they come in many colors too.
And the third time I read the text, I wanted them to use their notes and add more details to what they have had already written down.
You can hold a tennis ball in one hand. A bowling ball is much bigger. It is also much heavier than a tennis ball.
So when choosing a text, you want to stay away from choosing a lengthy text. You want to choose something that's about a minute, under a minute perhaps. You can actually do this strategy with any type of text. So it doesn't have to be expository. It doesn't have to be specifically any type of text. You can do this strategy using any text.
In a couple of seconds, I'm going to let you share out your notes with your buddy. But we're going to go over some collaboration rules. How do you collaborate with a buddy and have a discussion in a peaceful, respectful way? So
I also reference to our collaborative discussion do's and don'ts. My students have been practicing how to politely and respectfully collaborate with each other. So it's a good idea to review those steps before my students are released to have those discussions.
But I'm going to go ahead and share with you our other starter, our sentence starters. I want you to start thinking about how you can start the text. So one way that you can start the text is by stating, solids are. Echo, solids are. You can also use this starter.
The following step is for them to have a discussion with their partner. And they're discussing their notes, they're sharing their notes, they're also giving and getting. So some student might have added a word that is not relevant to the text, or maybe it's not as important for understanding the text. So they're having this dialogue to help each other. They're discussing if the word is a good word for your notes and for your text.
I have solid, matter, bowling ball, and tennis ball, and okay. So solid, something that you can hold, matter, everything around us, liquid is something that flows that could just go through your hand. Property, it belongs to someone or something. Texture, how something feels, and compare how they are like. Compare how they are like.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Nice. You added liquid to yours, property, and compare. Comparing, you added tennis ball and bowling ball to yours.
I thought we could use those for like examples, so I put them on there.
I think that's great too. Those are going to be great examples to compare. So all of these matched and you both had those. Very nice. So after my students have their discussion, the next step is to reconstruct the text. I like my students to have an oral discussion before they're actually reconstructing the text. I think it allows my students to really dig into the language and practice.
Then we can. We could use according to the text, solids are something that you can hold. Because didn't we hear that in the text? We could do all of these. Oh yeah. You have a yacht.
So I heard really good discussions about how you can start the text and providing examples for that. Now I went ahead and I placed the paper. You can go ahead now, you may start. If you already had started, make sure that you reread what you're writing and that you're using those sentence starters if you need help to help you reconstruct the text. Capiche? Okay, go ahead and reconstruct the text.
Texture, maybe we could do bowling ball and a tennis ball. Tennis balls are kind of like fuzzy a little, and then bowling balls are smooth. And then and they're heavy. Yeah, they're heavy. So texture.
Like it says, could you state your idea clearly? Because I really can't understand you. You're saying, I think we add. Here's something you could start off by saying. I think we should add blah, blah, blah. I think we should add a solid is something that you can see and touch.
Okay. Olivia, do you agree with that? Yes. I do.
When my students are doing the reconstruction and working in pairs, only one of my students is doing the writing. And the reason for that is that I really want them to collaborate in reconstructing the text. So only one of them is doing the writing so that they stay focused in reconstructing that text together. Good job.
Because the trees are wood, and wood is solid.
So Alondra, as Jeremy's finishing this thought, think about how you guys can add that, what you just said. For example, from the text, I know that.
So my role as my students are reconstructing the text is to be a facilitator. I'm asking questions, I am referring back to their notes, and I'm asking them, how are you going to use this word in the text? I notice you have this word here. How can we fit this word in your text?
I like how you added that word, and you're adding that keyword from your notes. Good job. So finish that thought. That was really nicely put.
A solid is matter and does not flow like a liquid. For example, a solid is something that you can see and touch. A liquid is the opposite, you cannot
So when they were done reconstructing the text, I had my students in pairs present, and this allows me to hear if they're really grasping the content. And I also give them feedback.
Gas, and those are the three states of matter.
All right. I like how you gave examples, and your group gave us a lot of information. Now, you guys added extra stuff that we had.
In this strategy, my students get to use all language domains. So they're listening, they're speaking, they're writing, they're reading their own reconstructed text, and my students are really developing language. And so this is a great strategy. It's a great integrated strategy.